Right now, man, this is my favorite segment of all, the well track. And we're going to talk about my guy, Jeezy, you hear me? But I know most of y'all think we're going to talk about the new album he dropped. Everybody like, trap, drop the street cred. Nah, I went a little back. I went back a little bit. Shout out to Jeezy, man. Y'all know, I like the music. It's what helped me so far on my journey. So I'm going to dig deep into this one, right? It's from the song Black Dollar. Let's break that down for a second. Violate a young ninja probation for a piss test. Mama whisper in my ear, we gonna beat this. Let's stop right there. How many people we know in prison right now? Violating the piss test for marijuana, and now they about to legalize it. My question is, do you let those people out of prison? Do you take back those life sentences? What about the people that already died in jail behind it? Do you recompensate their family? How does that go? Let's go even further. Let's dig a little deeper. What about the people who were on drugs, crack, heroin, that you gave life sentences to, when we treated that like a crime instead of as a problem? I ain't talking about the drug dealer. I'm talking about the person who was using the drugs. I'm talking about the user, the junkie. I'm talking about the person that was on it. We treating that like a harsh crime. I know people in prison for 3 strikes, you're out for being crackheads, heroin addicts. We treating that like a crime. Yo, that's an issue. But check it out. War ready, black power, financial freedom, black dollar. So I mean, he's saying, yo, we ready. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Let's get our power back. Let's get the financial freedom. Let's understand the power of the black dollar. Slave labor, no love, back to business. Pay us what you owe us. Prison system is slave labor, no love. Let's get back to business. Let's go back to the black dollar. Let's understand how powerful that dollar is if we invest it. I like the chorus, so smooth though. All this Fendi and Gucci is goofy. LV canceled. Now you tell them to sue me. Rolex, AP, ain't shit. Y'all follow, need that, need us, almighty black dollar. I'm gonna just keep it real, y'all. We talked about Fendi. We talked about Gucci. We talked about them on other episodes on what companies own them. We walk around with them labels on. I'm going to keep it real. The reason why you see me always walk around with the Wall Street looks like us now is because this represents me. These labels get all these people to wear their labels all the time. And I'm not saying you can't get fly, but they got all the people that influence the culture wearing they label, and then we go spend all that money, and Bernard Arnault becomes the richest man during the pandemic while people struggling. I'm gonna keep beating that horse. AP, Rolex, ain't shit. Shout out to Chris Johnson. The homie dropped 17 watches. That's the name of his company. The black dollar is powerful. The poverty dollar is powerful. The working man and woman dollar is powerful. But until we learn to circulate that dollar the right way, until we learn how to use that dollar to become investors instead of consumers, hell with closing the wealth gap, just increasing your family's purchasing power. Until we get that, we're going to take building wealth off the table. Shout out to Jeezy, man. Black dollar, wealth track, man. So right now, man, I really want to get into what I like to call, our wise words in the OG. And I want to take the glasses off for a second, because this one is in my heart. Poverty threatens our survival. We're talking about poverty equaling lack of financial literacy, insufficient funds, lack of opportunity. If we don't increase our financial fortitude, poverty will eat away at us one generation at a time. The fear of financial loss deprives us of the potential to create prosperity. The fear of financial loss. The fear of saying, yo, I want to invest in this business. I want to make this investment. The fear of that loss robs us and deprives us of the potential of creating prosperity, because we're scared to take an L. We don't work so hard for this money. We done traded 5, 10, 15, 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week for this money. I don't got time to lose this. Fear of financial loss deprives us of the opportunity and the potential to create prosperity. So we become workaholics, trading every piece of time for $1, working 2 and 3 jobs, working 14, 16, 15 hours a day, coming home tired. We become estranged from our family. We become estranged from love. We become estranged from that family dynamic. And we justify that. I'm doing what's necessary for my family. We justify that. But will you go to your grave known as a hardworking man? Will you go to your grave known as a hardworking woman? When we think about us as kids and we grow up, how many of us can say this? My mom was never home because she worked 2 and 3 jobs. That's a familiar thread. My daddy was never home because he worked 2 and 3 jobs. My brother and my sister, we raised ourselves because mama worked so much. Estranged from the family dynamic. But doing what we just know how to do. Workaholics. Self-defeating behaviors, limited beliefs, and financial toxicity is what anchors us to poverty. It anchors us. Not having the ability to believe. We see the wealth, we see the people building businesses, but the limited beliefs keeps us from thinking that we can do it. That's why I wanted to do something different this week. Something touched me in Paris. Something touched me in the UK. It made me realize that no matter where you are in this world, if you don't have financial literacy, no matter where you are in this world, there's always going to be a hierarchy, and there's always going to be the rest of us. And for those who admire the people who are in stardom, for those who admire the people who are building wealth, we admire those people, but for some reason we don't feel like we can do it. If we sit back and we think, man, we watched the Kardashians build their wealth. We watched Kevin Hart build his wealth. We watched The Rock go from Rocky Maivia on WWE to Dwayne Johnson, one of the highest paid people in the world, actors in the world. We watched Will Smith go from Fresh Prince of Bel Air to getting paid $20 million a movie. We watched Denzel Washington go from glory to being who he is now. We watched these people. They didn't do it overnight. They ain't do it overnight. So why do we think we have to? The money is infinite. The opportunities never stop. We've watched people build success year in and year out. You may look at it and say they had opportunity, but they worked at it. Same thing you got to do with investing. You got to work at it. Losses come with the game, but they got to turn into lessons. Tragedy comes with the game, but they got to turn into triumph. Until we're able to do that, we will never get the outcome that we desire. We will never walk in the prosperity that is built for us. We will divorce ourselves from our birthright. And I promise you, when it comes to wealth, it doesn't care what color you are. All it cares about is, can you execute? All it cares about is, can you reinvest? All it cares about is, can you pass it down? It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. Thank you for coming to another episode of Trapper Tuesdays. Listen, do me a favor. Every Thursday, the audio drops on all streaming platforms. Make sure you download. Make sure you leave a review. Make sure you share it. After this episode, I want you to get in the comments when we drop it. Check it out. Like and subscribe. It's your boy, the Wall Street Trapper. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week.